Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be talking about the term pickmeishas and pick-me's. I've been seeing this term circulating the internet for quite a few months now in the BWE space, on certain divestment channels, as well as the term Mammy. I'm going to give my perspective on these terms, and I hope that you guys enjoy and feel enlightened. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with a friend, and let me know your thoughts below. So from my understanding, the term pick me is given to a woman who's, safe to say, male identified. She puts the needs or desires of men above her own and above her sisters, her girlfriends, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get picked by a man, which includes betraying or deceiving her girlfriends, her sisters, or just anyone around for that matter, I guess. From women who subscribe to the pick me term, these women who openly say that they're a pick me, they think that a pick me means that they respect and submit to their men, and that they like respecting and submitting to men, that they like being feminine. Me personally, I disagree with that. I do not think being respectful, submitting to men, and being feminine and wanting to serve your man, your husband, is pick me behavior. I think that that is a role, and that's the role that you take when you choose to be a wife with a traditional man as a traditional woman. I would never condone a woman putting her needs and making other women look bad in order to get a man. It's just never that serious. And when you're willing to do things like that, you're putting the man on a pedestal, and you're making him a prize, and you're making him the one who is the most important. And you shouldn't make a man feel that he's more important than you and your friends when he is not your man. If you're just dating a guy, you need to focus on just dating him and just getting to know him. Do not put him on a pedestal, and he's not your man. He has not committed his life to you. He's not protecting you. He's not providing for you. He's not taking care of you and your children that you guys created together. So you have no reason to put this man at the forefront of anything. As you know, this channel is based off of Christian beliefs and biblical principles. I am a Christian woman, and that's not even biblical. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that a woman is supposed to love a man. It only says that women are supposed to respect and submit to their husbands, not to their boyfriends, not to a guy they find attractive, not to men that are strangers they run into on the street, their husbands. And men in return are supposed to love their wives like Christ loved the church, and supposed to honor their wives as well. So they're supposed to do this to their wives, ladies. They're not supposed to do this to just any woman who they think is attractive either. They're supposed to devote their all to their wife, which is why when a man proposes and wants to spend his life to you, it's a very serious commitment, because that is, if he's a Christian man, that is what he is professing, that he is willing to love you and honor you above all else, above everyone else in this world, along with God. So being a pick me, I do not support that term. This is not a channel that is a pick me channel. This is a channel that believes in traditionalism, roles to be a helpmate to your husband, not to your man. And when you're in the courting stages, when you're in the dating stages, it is it's a time for you to vet and get to know your man. And if you are a traditional woman dating and he is a traditional man dating, he should be willing to show you that he has qualities of a husband, meaning he should be taking leadership in the courtship. He should be at least paying for dates. He should be initiating dates. He should be calling you and texting you, and you are supposed to be reciprocating that, answering his phone calls, going on his dates, being yourself, showing interest in him, offering if you can help him in any way, meaning he had a hard day, and say, how can I help you with that? Or, just showing that you can be a helpmate in some way, not like a wife, but showing that you can fulfill that role. My parents have been married for over 35 years, and my dad tells me all the time that things that my mom did to prove that she was a wife is when they were well into their courtship, well into the 6 months of courtship, my mom would invite my father over to cook one dinner for him. And then my dad would go over to her house to mow the lawn, for instance. So they would do little things here and there, not consistently, here and there as a gift, as quote unquote a treat, to prove that when they do get married, they can handle those roles full time. Now, you have a lot of men, referring to my last video, that want women to be wives before they're married, to prove that you can be a good wife, so that he knows what he's getting before he gets into it. And like I said in my last video, you need to stay away from men like that, because they want to use you. But pick-me's, however, from what I've been seeing of them online, subscribe to that notion. They subscribe to doing everything a wife is supposed to do before marriage, to prove yourself, to compete, to show that you're nice. They consider, I'm going to do a separate video on conditional femininity, but they think that if you don't fulfill these things right away, and you only want to do it for when you're married, that you're being conditionally feminine. That's 100% not correct. There's a difference between being conditionally feminine and having boundaries. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, so stay tuned for that. When it's up, I'll link it as well at the end of this video. But being a pick-me is not something that you should want to do, ladies. I think pick-me's and the mammies and women who aren't pick-me's, there's just a misunderstanding going on. Pick-me's think it's serving your man, and it's not. It's being able to place your man above all and deceive and betray other women in the process, just so you can get picked. And that is not okay. That's not even feminine. That's masculine. It's masculine for women to compete. I made a video on competition as well. I'll link that too. Don't compete for a man. However, show effort and reciprocate in a relationship with a man that you want, that is showing he wants you. And then from there, you guys form a connection and decide if you want to be married or be long-term relationship. That's how it's supposed to go. A lot of people are trying to have tactics to keep them from avoiding bad situations, particularly the men, because, in divorce court, men tend to suffer a little bit more, meaning they have to be the ones that majority of the time pay child support, have the assets split. So now men are coming up with ways to kind of bypass getting divorced. But there's honestly, for men and women, there's honestly nothing you can do to avoid situations that you're destined to go through. The best you can do is be your best self, welcome the lessons that come in life, and learn how to go with that. Learn how to build off of your losses instead of trying to live life avoiding loss at all cost. There's no such thing as that. Everyone's going to go through something. So it's best that you know how to be strategic and move with intention, so that you can avoid going through things and getting stuck. Getting stuck is what you don't want to do. So being a pick-me is it's not going to, it usually doesn't get picked. You usually don't get picked from being a pick-me. There's a lot of men who say, well, pick-me's get picked. Honestly, no, they don't. Men typically go after women that are living their best life because that's attractive to them. They see a girl glowing, growing, and moving in her purpose, and men, they get attracted to that energy, and that's usually the woman they go after. Men don't choose women that are always available and ready to do whatever they want, because a real masculine man wants a challenge, and pick-me's aren't challenging. They go with the status quo. They do what they're supposed to. They don't challenge anything. And what I mean by challenge is not being combative and masculine. I mean challenge as in you're focused on your purpose, and it's a challenge for the man to get to you because you're exclusive, and your emotional investment in your time is exclusive. So it's a challenge for a man to get access to you. That's what I mean by being a challenge, ladies. A lot of these pick-me's think that is stupid. They think that's masculine. They think it's conditional femininity, and it's really not. It's a way for you to attract the best man that you can when you are your best self. And I'm really, really confused on why these pick-me's are so male identified. These men don't even end up marrying, a lot of them. And the women who are married and are quote unquote pick-me's, they have every right to be a pick-me because they're married. They have their man. So it's within their best interest to fulfill their role as a wife than to be this man-hating married woman. That just doesn't make any sense. I don't suggest that single women be pick-me's. I suggest that married women be pick-me's for their husband, if that's how you want to put it. Meaning, if you want to serve your husband and respect and submit to him, you're doing it because he's protecting and providing for you in return. And that's a good way, that's a healthy way of how relationships should work. And you both love each other. You respect and submit to your husband, which is transcribed into love for men, and men are loving you by protecting and providing for you and honoring you, and you both are staying loyal to each other. You both are honest with each other. This is a healthy relationship, and you can't get these things outside of marriage. Never compete for a man. Never want to be chosen for a man. If a man's not already choosing you on his own, if you have to compete for him, he doesn't want you. If he's telling you you need to put in more effort and compete, he wants another woman. He can't get access to her because she's actually living her best life, not worried about him. But you're worried about him. So he believes you need to work harder to actually get him because he thinks that you're not who he truly wants. So if you want him to settle for you, you got to work hard for him. That's really the pathology behind this. I don't think a lot of men understand what they're saying when they say compete. If what they really mean is that they want women to put more efforts into relationships, that's different. But telling a woman to compete and be a pick-me is not, you're not allowing women to have the best outcome. You're telling women that you guys aren't good enough. You're telling a woman that you're not good enough for me to choose you for being authentically you. So you need to do X, Y, and Z for me to get you. And it's also a way for men to move through relationships having trust issues. Because if you're saying you want to be a wife, if you're actually a good woman, you're showing in your own life that you have it together. If you're being a wife, quote unquote, to yourself, he should have confidence and trust that you're also going to be a great wife to him because your life is together. You're living on your purpose and you're doing what you need to do. But a lot of men have trust issues. They don't believe what women say. They sometimes don't even believe what women do. They only believe it if you're doing it for them. And sometimes even still, it's not going to be good enough. These men sometimes have serious trust issues, and it doesn't matter what you do. They're not going to pick you if you're being a pick-me for them because they have trust issues with a woman. You can blame this on their upbringing. You can blame this on what they see in the media. But usually the men who have the most trust issues with women have the least relationship experience. So that is why they have no clue how to really connect for a woman. They don't even really think about that. What they really think of is what a woman can do for them. If men knew how to connect with a woman on an emotional and intellectual level, they wouldn't be so fixated on what she could physically do for him because they would be able to love their woman properly, that the little things she can't do, doesn't want to do, or doesn't know how to do is not going to be the foundation of why the relationship can't work. So I know I said a lot, but I hope you ladies are understanding what I'm saying. Be a pick-me for the man that has picked you. Don't be a pick-me if you're single. It's not going to get you anywhere. You are the vulnerable one. You're the one who's going to carry on that man's legacy and bring life into this world. And he needs to be a pick-me, quote unquote, for you, not the other way around. Ladies, you definitely have options when you're living on your purpose and being your best self. You don't need to settle for a man that legitly doesn't really want you and just wants to see what you can do for him so he can so he can use you. So don't be a pick me. The rise of pick me's is really sad. They need to not be so male identified, because male identified women don't usually get picked. If they did get picked, usually their story is that they dated a man that they liked, the man liked them, they both showed effort into the relationship, and he ended up marrying her. That's not being a pick me. That's just dating a man you like and wanting to do nice things for him because he's doing nice things for you first. He's initiating it. He's leading. So if a man leads, that means he's going to be the one to do nice things for you first. You can't have a man lead, but you're initiating all the dates, the phone calls, and all that stuff. But it doesn't work like that. So that's my opinion on the pick me, mammy type of terms that are going around. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below, ladies. I really enjoy reading your commentary on these topics that affect all of us women, not only in the dating world, but just how we identify ourselves. I can't wait to read what you guys have to say. Until next time, ladies. Bye.